Hi folks, it's been a little while since I've done a video for you. It's almost the summer holidays here in our part of Scotland, so hopefully I can get some more videos uploaded. But we have one of our teachers leaving my girls' school and moving on to somewhere else, so I've been making her up a little leavers gift that has inspired me to make a video. I used to make these quite a lot, probably, I'd have to look back on the date stamp, but probably more around 2020 time. 2020 during lockdown was my most creative time, and other than the fact of COVID and all that, I really enjoyed that isolation time and not having to rush out to work and having time to craft. I miss it greatly. I normally, my old roses, I used to use Shepies, but I used Calista. So it is an aran weight cotton. I didn't have any to hand, and I'm always a last minute kind of person. And I always like to do handmade and try and use from my stash, because there's a lot of stuff and I don't want to have to go and buy more when I've got stuff that I can use. So what I'm doing is I'm just doubling up the strands on this for my roses. So there's a couple that I have made up and not wound up yet, and then there are ones that I have made and wound up, and I've just popped them on little bamboo skewers and just pushed it down through the middle. So when I used to make them before, I would repurpose knitting needles, and it was quite nice. The top of the knitting needle kind of became the centre of the flower. I don't have a vase tall enough to use knitting needles, although I do have knitting needles around the house. So that's why I've just gone with bamboo skewers, and I've just chopped them in half, and I have popped them inside this little jar. So I've got 2 so far. There will be 5 in total. This is the last colour to make up. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I make a crocheted rose. So I'll take the sleeve off, purely because I need to be using the outside and the inside for my double strand. Move my darning needle and scissors out of the way. So I've got my outside strand. Now I need to find the centre, which shouldn't be hard because I've probably centre pulled from here. I use this a lot for making crocheted hearts. The original ones that I used to do is a pattern from Pinterest. If you've watched my very first video of my hearts that I make for the charity Held in Our Hearts, the first ones I ever made for them were 3D ones, but trying to keep up with doing 40 of them a month, it was really hard on my hands. Plus I was making orders for other people as well, which is why I completely changed the pattern and made something that was more manageable time-wise and less strain on my hands. But they're very effective, and I'll aim to do a video of me making one of those in the summer. So I've taken the inside and the outside and holding my 2 strands together. For this I'm using a 4.5mm crochet hook. If I was just using 1 strand, I use a 3, as you would have seen from my first video. I'm going to slip knot. I'm going to pull some of this yarn out because the ball does kind of run around a little bit, so I'll just stop periodically and pull some yarn out so that the ball's not pinging all over the video. We're going to start by doing a chainless double crochet foundation of 61. So just a little refresher on that. We're going to chain, be careful when you're doubling up that you don't lose one of the strands off of your hook. It is easy done, but equally it's as easy picked up. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to yarn over, go into the first chain, pull the yarn through and pull it out a little bit, yarn over through just 1, and then we're going to yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over, turn your work on its bum so that you can see the bars that you need to go underneath, under here, the under V. Pull your yarn through, pull it out just a little, through just one, because you're creating your base, through two, through two. Yarn over, turn it over again. You can see your little, this colour isn't the best for keeping the camera focused, so I do apologise if it goes out of focus. We're going to go under those two and under those two. 2 and 2 because I'm doubled up strands. If I wasn't doubled up, it would just be under 1 and 1. Yarn over, through just one, through two, through two. We'll do one more and then I will pause. I'll get my 61 done and then I'll meet you back here. Yarn over, looking underneath, find your bars under there. Forgot them all, no, missing one, there we go. Yarn over, pull it out just a little, yarn over through one, through two, through two. So we're creating our foundation double crochet as we go. So I'll pause now and I'll see you back here in a bit. Okay, that's me done my 61 foundation double crochet. I should have said at the start, if you're not comfortable with foundation double crochet, you don't have to. You can just do your chain of 63 and then double crochet back into the third chain from the hook in each one along. That should give you 61 if I'm doing my maths correctly. So 61 is what you want to achieve 15 petals. So once you've done however you do your double crochet, then we'll move on to the petal stage. So we're going to be working back along. I'm going to chain one for turning and I'm going to single crochet into the first one. So into the top of that first double crochet. Now we flipped it over. Then I'm going to yarn over. I'm going to skip one and double crochet into the next one. I'm going to do 8 in total double crochets into this same stitch, creating a little fan shape. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And then we're going to skip one. We're going to single crochet in the next one. Okay, yarn over, we're going to skip one. We're going to double crochet 8 into the next one. 1, 2, 3, sorry, I'll pull out more yarn. 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. You're going to skip one, single crochet in the next. So you get the theme going along here. Single crochet in the first, skip one, 8 double crochets, skip one, 1 single, skip one, 8 double crochets, skip one, 1 single. Do this the whole way to the end and you should land with a single. So I don't place it in the top of this starting chain. I place it right in the base here. So it almost pulls the petal just around the edge. But I'll unpause the video when I get to here to show you what I mean. I'm going to pause just now, get the rest of the petals completed, and then I'll come back at the end and show you what I do. Right, I'll restart creating my last petal. So I'll undo. I've worked a single crochet here, skip one, I'm going to 8 double crochet into here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now, like I said before I paused, I don't place my last single crochet at the top of the chain, I just come around and tuck it. In fact, I don't even do a single crochet. Speaking nonsense, I'm finishing off my petal ready for wrapping. I'm going to slip stitch into the very starting chain of the whole shebang. Because I have got 2 yarns, I'm going to cut out 2 different lengths, but if you were just using one, I'm going to cut this one shorter, but this one, which is the main one, I am going to cut, if I can show you, because it is quite long now, I'm going to cut roughly the same length as the petal piece, if that's what we'll call it, and just pull both tails through so it secures them. So this is what you're left with, which is really nice. You could add this to like the neck of a t-shirt, just, you know, funk it up a little bit. So you can see I've cut my tail about the same length as this, so that, when I come to wrapping this up, I've got more than enough. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to tuck in these spare ends. So this is the right side of my work. This is the wrong side. So if the petals are kind of puffing towards you, you know that's the wrong side. And if you're an experienced crocheter, you'll know what the back side of your double crochets look like as opposed to the front side. So I'm going to tuck the tails in on the back because I want the front side to be on the outside of the rows, if that makes sense. So the back side will be tucked on the inside. So I'm just going to weave these in anywhere. They're going to be wrapped up and sewn into place anyway. It's just to stop you getting all tangled up in lots of different ends when you are wrapping. I'm just going to stuff these in here. I like to almost cut them the same length. They're easier than just to weave them all into the needle. I just got these needles on Amazon. They've got nice big eyes, so when I'm teaching crochet workshops, they're not fiddly for the beginners to thread their yarn into. And I'm only working one way for weaving in, because like I said, you're going to be sewing it into place anyway. So don't start with the end that has the tail. That is going to be on the outside, so that this is nice and handy for sewing up. So right side on the outside, I just tuck the very tip of my finger just in here, and I wrap around. I do the first bit quite tight so that when I pull my finger out, it kind of closes the gap a little bit. And then I'm just going to gently wrap around, keeping this bottom layer as level with each other as possible, so it's not bulging up the middle, it's not dipping to the inside, it's keeping it nice and flat. So I just kind of put my finger on the inside there and just hold it in place, gently wrap around. Don't worry too much about your where your petals are sitting at the moment. You'll find that it looks just fine, but once you've sewn it up, you can obviously just give them a little tug here and there to move them where you want them to be. Now the wise thing to do is probably to thread your needle first, but I'm not that wise. So I'm just going to hold that down with my hand and quickly thread that. Oop. Now I just stitch back and forth. So I'm going to start here because this is where I finished, and I'm going to aim and hope that I'm picking up all layers as I go through, and I'm going straight through to the other side. Okay, pull that through, not too tight, you don't have to be tight with it. Then I'm going to go off to the right a little bit and do the same again, aiming to pick up all layers as I go through, and out the other side, in here, straight through, picking them all up as I go. Little pull in here, wiggle, 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 all the way through. And just keep going round. It kind of pulls it in and looks like a little flower in the middle as you work around, or that's the aim anyway. I'll show you the bottoms of the other ones in case this one doesn't come out exactly how I expect it to look, because it never comes out the way you want it to when you're trying to show other people, does it? Let's be honest. So it bunches it in a little bit. If you give it a wee bit of a tug, just kind of drawstrings it in, and I always go back to the beginning. So this is where we started. This was our first entry point over here. So I'll just come back over, and then I'm just going to do a couple of knots to secure. And then another one just close by. Oop, lost it off my needle. Give that a pull, and then I'll just weave it back through to the other side, and then I'll snip off. Through it goes. And then we're just going to snip it, flip it over, and you've got this little rose. If you find that your petals are all kind of sitting on top of each other, like I say, just give them just a little manipulate and just give them a little twist and sugar them round a little bit and get them into a position that you're happy with. And then I'm going to borrow one of these because I forgot to take a new one down. It's handy to have a pointy end either on a knitting needle or on a bamboo skewer, but I mean the flat end would work as well. I'll show you. You might just have to give it more of a wiggle. So just go into the center and just kind of twist it through, and just watch you're not snagging your yarn, which I am slightly here. There we go. Obviously you don't want a pointy end poking up it, but if you've got two flat ends, that's fine. And then just pull it down. And what I have got upstairs is little diamantes. So I think what I'm going to do before I put the skewers in, glue a little diamante on the end of here, and then when I push them through, it's going to sit in the little diamante. It's going to be in the middle of there. And that is that. That is a rose, or how I do a rose. I like using cotton. You can use any yarn you want, but I just like the appearance that cotton gives. It gives better stitch definition, I think. I obviously recommend keeping the front of your stitches to the outside. You can put them on the inside if you want to. It doesn't matter. Personal preference and all that. Do it how you like it. But that gives you the basic concept, and then they all sit in their little jar and they're never going to die. You never have to throw them away. You have happy little colourful roses for as long as you want. Thank you for watching. Any questions, just ping me a message and I'll do my best to help. Thanks, bye.